Hey, what's up everyone? Mendel here. I hope you're all doing awesome and wonderful. And in this video, we're going to sketch some orchestra ideas on a heavy track. So let's dig right in. Here we go. So here I have a session of mine of like this new heavy melodic metal track I'm working on. We're going to listen to it in a bit. But what I wanted to add is some orchestration. And over here I've loaded up Iconica Sketch in HALion Sonic. And basically what I did is made some patches that make my writing or initial ideas or first ideas writing as smooth and as fast as possible. So what I did, as you can see over here, I have this staccato strings pad. So this is loaded up with violins 1, violins 2, violas, cello and basses. So basically the whole range of the string section of the orchestra. So for an example, sounds great in my opinion. And over here, I did the same thing with the brass section. So I have trombone staccato, horn staccato, trumpet staccato, and tuba staccato. Same thing. And lastly, over here, I have a long patch purely for the brass. Because in this song, I just want to have like staccato strings, some staccato brass section, and perhaps also some long notes. So I've loaded up the trombones, horns, and trumpets. Alright, so now let's take a listen to what we're working with, what we're going to add orchestra to. And it's like this heavy, melodic, almost Castlevania-like track. Who doesn't love Castlevania, right? Here we go. So let's add some orchestration to this. Alright, so I made a tiny bit of mistake because I cut my middle finger, but let's see what we have here. So what we have is this thing. Right, so let's remove that note. There we go. And let's quantize it so it's a bit tighter. So we have together with the music again. Okay, so that sounds cool. And now what I'm going to do is just play the bass line and then I'm going to move from there. So just going to play the low notes now on the second part. Alright, just a basic idea, just the root notes. Let me select this and then just quantize it a bit as well. So everything seems okay here. And now what I'm going to do is add the chords on top. Again, these are just like the first ideas I have, and later on in the future I'll do the proper orchestration. But the most important thing, like for me when I write music, it starts with an idea, like I think with most people. So I just want to have these ideas down as fast as possible, also as good as possible, and then work from there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the first note. I'm going to select over here on the top the MIDI input function, and make sure the keep existing notes toggle switch is on. So now when I put in the chords on top of the other notes, it's going to be exactly on time with my previous input root notes. So for an example, and now, okay, now I can think, let's do some dominant vibes, some lower stuff. That sounds cool, and perhaps higher. Oops. Let's go one back. G minor. And now let's do like this suspended fourth thing. So let's take a listen to that just by itself. I forgot to put in the extra notes, so let's just duplicate that quickly over here. That, and also let's duplicate this lower part. So I'm pressing copy, alt paste, shift down. So again, it's copy, alt paste, so alt V, and then shift down for octave switching. So now it should sound heavier. And let's just copy paste that a couple times. There we go. So now we have this part. And I think, let me just Ctrl C that. I think this one should be a bit louder. There we go. And just make it extra heavy. Let's put them all a bit up on the velocity. So now we have like this on the resolution on the fifth chord. Sounds heavy to me. Together with the music, let's take a listen. Sounds cool to me, so let's duplicate that whole part. And it's not fully mixed yet, but just to make it sit better in the mix before I write on the other parts, I'm just gonna cut some mids. Actually, a fun thing you can do is there's a certain melody in the guitar that I want to copy to the strings. Let's find a melody. That one at bar 16. So what you can do when you do the edit vary audio and then analyze the notes, you can actually take these notes and put them on the orchestra. So let's say I think it's about this part. So those notes, and then choose function, extract MIDI, just notes. Let's do on a project clipboard. All right, go back to the orchestra or to the string section of the orchestra. And when I paste them over here at bar 16, couple octaves up, again, shift and arrow up. There we go. Let's quantize them. There we go. So now we have the notes of the riff. Just to give it some accent. So let's just leave it there. You can always later copy it a couple of times. And now let's go to the brass. So I'm thinking of the brass. The strings are pretty low at the beginning, so perhaps do the brass a bit higher. Just that. So let's clean it up a tiny bit. And now I just want to add some layering over the string. So not constantly doing the same thing, but just some adding some extra texture. Something like that, just the first idea that comes up in my head. Again, correcting it a tiny bit. And perhaps here do that same suspended chord thing. Something like this. Or just this. So we have... So let's check it just with the orchestra. That sounds good to me, so I'm just gonna copy paste that. So let's check it in the mix, and I'm gonna also cut some mids on the horns. Alright, I love where this is going. Now, just to finalize and give it some more emotional movement, let's add some long brass on when the double kicks start going. And now I'm going to do some quick adjustments on the strings, because I still think they're eating up too much space versus the guitars. Now, before we're going to check the whole thing, I quickly want to adjust some things on the long notes. Just to keep it a bit more even. So let's check the whole thing. All right, and there you have it. It's like this is like a quick way how you can just get those ideas out fast, because when you have some inspiration, I try to do as minimum time before getting the note down and have the inspired moment. So having this like Iconica sketch patches over here for strings and staccatos and the brass and the long notes and stuff, just I can quickly note down my ideas as I'm feeling inspired and don't have to think too much about the technical aspects. So hopefully you learned something today. If you have any questions about this, as always, please leave them down in the comments. I'd be happy to help you guys out and answer them. And until then, see you next time. Cheers.